Ooh, I gotta turn the music off. Oh, I just love this band so much. Genesis. Playing Duke. Playing Duke. Well, if you noticed, or maybe you haven't noticed, I've already deleted, or I am deleting now as we speak, the video I made earlier about the giveaway. Someone has responded, someone who I recognize, and someone who I'm happy to offer the CD to. So I heard from it's Alessandro. He's a fellow up in Canada. Never met him, but seems like a really fine person. Shares clips of him playing my music on Instagram. So, looks like he's got a really good stereo. Excuse me. Alessandro, thank you so much for your kindness. It does literally help my nephew get through this month into next month, continuing to struggle. Hopefully, something changes for him out there. But I sent the money. He's greatly appreciative. I just heard from a person who's been watching me for a long time out of Sweden, and I recognize his name from primarily music groups. And he has bought from me years ago before. Um, so let me see if he sent me his address yet. I will give him the CD that was bought by Alessandro. And thank you again, he hasn't left me his address yet. But I think it looks like I'll be getting it shortly. Thank you for, there it is. Okay. Bromma, Sweden. You know, the one time that I toured Europe, I really wanted to go to Sweden, and it wasn't on our itinerary, nor was Italy, which those are places I'd still like to visit. I love the music from those places. So once again, Alessandro, thank you for your loving concern about my people. Um, it helps. It helps. Like I said, what you did, I added to that, and that was still compared to what you need to make it in California, which I lament constantly. My family's out there, and I even back in the 70s when everyone was talking about moving there, it just seemed crazy to me. I could see through the facade. What I wanted out of music and out of the art world wasn't out there. It was available to me anywhere. And I saw the hustle and the high level of expense. And it's like, that's just stress. I don't want that. You know, my family members all say they're glad they're out there, but it frustrates me that I'm just repeating myself. So since then, what I'd like to share is I'm playing Duke this morning because last night before I went to bed, I watched a 2 hour, and I will look it up, so I'll tell you because I keep thinking this information is like, you music people, you ought to know about these websites. Of course, there's a lot of them, but John Edgington Documentaries is the channel, and he's got a lot of Pink Floyd related interviews and Genesis and other stuff I'm not interested in. So the Phil Collins interview, 2 hours long, very, very interesting. I've always liked Phil Collins, love him actually, and I've always rated him as a top drummer. And when you hear him speak, he's always identified as a drummer, not a singer or a rock star ever. He's a drummer. I love the guy, love his drumming. It was great to hear his stories from him, especially the chronology leading up to joining Genesis. I thought Flaming Youth was the band right before Genesis. Apparently, he was in several between Flaming Youth and Genesis. So that's what led to playing this, because he talks about how two of his most personal songs he'd ever written at the time end up on a Genesis album, which, in many ways didn't make sense. I even noticed it at the time. It's like, what? Please don't ask. So personal. It's like, what? Yeah, should have been, could have fit real well on his first solo album. So that's what I played so far. What else is happening with me today? I'm just going to keep rambling. No, not rambling. I'm going to keep sharing. So there used to be a band in Omaha called Cap Gun Coup, who for a minute looked like something could happen for them. Sam was the leader of the band, very charismatic, very chaotic person, very attractive. That last thing is important because I think that was his undoing as far as getting involved in the mainstream. Because I consider Sam a friend. We don't hang out much, but I consider him a friend. And Sam is a real artist where everything is on his sleeve. His problems are part and parcel of his art. And anyway, he's not doing music so much anymore. He's into filmmaking, and he's hired me for a small part in an independent film he's making, and that's getting shot today, later this afternoon. I only have one line, but I'm the therapist in the script. Fitting. I'll probably wear exactly this. If you see the film, I'll be wearing this. I don't have to make wardrobe or anything. It's probably just going to be a headshot, one line. I appreciate the work. I don't know how much I'll make, but every little bit helps. Like I said, I don't want to work anymore. I'm done. I make my Social Security, and the little bit I make off my music, I make it work. I'm going to keep talking. When I was talking with my friend Liz, who was in town from Kansas yesterday, we both talked about how everyone that we know, except for a few, are living economically on a tightrope. I mean, any semi-major or major calamity that would happen in my household could do me in, like a lot of folks. We just don't have any money. So the little bit that I can make extra, like this film role, and then next month I'm a guest lecturer at the University of California. That pays. It all helps, So enough of that. It's Friday new release date. I don't plan on going to the store. It's been almost, 2 weeks? Or has it been a week since? Yeah, it's been a couple weeks since, it's been a while since Steven Wilson's new album was released, and it still hasn't arrived in Omaha, which I think is weird because he's on Virgin Records, one of the major labels in the world. And Omaha still hasn't received copies of his album or CD. What's going on there? That would get me into the store. I don't want the 50th anniversary of Devo. Absolutely have no interest in the new Rolling Stones. Well, I do have interest in the new Rolling Stones album, but there's no way I'm going to buy that record. I watched the performance last night. They did a private show, and Lady Gaga joined them. Folks, that ain't my cup of tea, I got respect for the Stones, but man, that shit is tired to me. And I love them. I love the band and the people, but what they're playing, that shit is tired to me. Okay? Let me just keep rambling since I don't have any records to show you. The new Roger Waters, Dark Side of the Moon, I've listened to most of that online. I will not buy that. Someone can give it to me. I have no problem with his personal views. He's a human being. We all have an opinion. People who stupidly judge others as though they're in the right. Who the fuck? Roger Waters can say whatever the fuck he wants, Um, but I've listened to and watched a couple of videos about the new Redux, and it's like, nope, nope, nope. Only thing else I will kind of double back, because see, this is about the way the world is. We have such a short attention span, and we're always being bombarded with new stuff. Buy this, new release. Buy this, new releases this week, every week, constantly. It's so nothing the way that it was when I was a kid, when artists could build and build and build, and people keep people's attention because media outlets were not like they are now. Those days are gone. And so a record that was released last week, 2 weeks ago, it's history already. And so I want to just bring this up again. Lorraine's new album, I Killed Your Dog. It's like very likely this will sync with almost without a trace regarding the overall mainstream focus of the music industry. This is so good and original. It don't sound like anybody else. Really like this. Like the Slow Dive. Those are two albums I want to champion besides my own. But this is probably ancient history for a lot of people's mentality. And the music industry, that's a beautiful color. So I want to call that back to your attention. Lorraine, I Killed Your Dog. Listen to it. Check it out. Check it out, okay? Check it out. What else can I do before I go? Oh, okay, those are still sitting out. Okay. I'll do a poll, and it's going to be like right here, so it's going to be something real known to me, because I'm looking at these records all the time. Let's pull this group. What is this? Kayak. Okay. Dutch band. So that's interestingly, I again went ahead and watched all the way through this one video response to Steven Schipper's Dutch Records contest. I'm glad I did, because I actually did end up seeing several records I recognize and have a couple artists, Doamar, Brainbox, but a lot of stuff I'd never heard of. But here, Kayak is a Dutch band. I have several of their albums. They were pop progressive. And here's a best of album I happened to grab. Really melodic, good songs. I was just playing It's Still Out to be put away. This album by Ton Scherpenzeel. I'm quite certain he was in the band. Yeah, I'm rough on the Blake sleeves. Here, is this a first or second album? I like that cover too. Let me see if the information. Well, no, I was going to see if he's on this album, but good stuff. Melodic. Interestingly, kind of almost similar to Phil Collins. For a while, the drummer was the drummer, and then the drummer wanted to be the singer, or was it the opposite? Something like that. Good singer, good drummer. Okay, and the next record that got pulled, and this is something I haven't played in a while, but it's a keeper. Don't listen to stuff like this much these days, but this is keeper stuff for me. Katharsis. Suspension of Belief. Is this our records? That's Katharsis. Okay, it's a self-titled release. I think they did it themselves. Kind of a noise bass sound that I remember of him. I don't want to call it industrial, but it's like it's more on that side of things. Again, this is fun for me to do the polls when I do them, because it's like it's a process of rediscovery of many things in my collection. It's like, okay, Don't remember this. Let me check this out again. So that's my poll for you. I hope everyone has a good weekend. I'm still really not watching too much news because there's nothing I can do about all the death and destruction happening all over the world, not just in the Middle East. There's all that stuff in the Sudan and the, the whole scale. Haiti is just, I know it's a mess down there, and all over the world. Ukraine, there's nothing I can do about that in Omaha. Nothing, except send out positive vibes, try to be a good person here, you know. So I'm just really mostly avoiding my usual routine of checking the news a lot. I do still, but it sucks. So to recap, thank you, Alessandro in Canada, for contributing to what I could send to my nephew to help him along. And thank you because it allows me to extend that kindness to Ollie in Sweden. I'm about to print up the mailing label, package it up, and take it to the post office. Let me know how you're doing, people, okay? As always, take care.